What's up, everybody? I'm Blessed and Free. Welcome back to another episode of DOC TV. For people that are tuning in for the first time on this channel, I talk about jail, crime, prison, and the corruption that goes on in all of those. And I bring guests on so they can share their testimony on, what got them to prison, what they went through in prison, and what happened when they got out. So, all right, with that being said, what's your name and where you're from?
My name's Diana. I'm from Kansas. I'm inmate 109142. I served some time in Kansas. I've done some jail time, some prison time. Let me start. Let me tell you, I came from a good family. My parents never drank, never smoked. 5 brothers, no sisters. My dad was illegal. So we came here about the age of 5. I was born here, but I was taken to Mexico when I was little, raised there till I was the age of 5. We came from Mexico at the age of 5. It was like at least 2 vans full of us, my grandma, my grandpa, my aunts, my uncles, and at that time, like they were working farms to farms. So they were helping farmers. And I was 5 and my uncle's friend would babysit us because everybody was working. So I was away from my parents for a minute, a couple years, but his friend would babysit us and I started getting molested at the age of 5, I don't know how old he was, older man, but it happened for about a couple of years. And when it came to light, my uncle found out and my uncle ended up murdering him.
Did you end up telling your uncle what had happened?
No, I would show with my aunt. So my aunt found out, and so, the only one that was babysitting it was him. So they knew it was him. They automatically knew it was him. My uncle found out. Took him out drinking, from what I know, shot him and threw him in a ditch.
He kind of got the justice he deserved in my eyes. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure the same way you look at it too.
Yeah, but it's pretty sad because my uncle ended up doing prison time and he had health problems, so he ended up dying in prison.
Oh, damn. So they how long was it before he got arrested after he murdered the dude?
About a couple of years.
Okay.
It wasn't too long.
How long did he end up getting sentenced to prison?
Life sentence. So I think back then it would have been like 15 to 20 or 20, 25. I was young, so damn. I really didn't.
So after the stuff happened with your uncle, like when did you first start getting into trouble, like getting arrested and doing stuff like that? What age were you?
I was 13. I just barely turned 13. Well, I got raped at the age of 12. A lot of bad stuff happened to me when I was a kid.
Which is the worst time for it to happen, because that's when you're becoming a person. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And, I was in middle school. I was coming home from school and like 3 high school boys. I used to walk in the alleys. So it happened there. Again, I came home. My parents found out. Cops got called. They got like 3 years juvie time.
That's it? All 3 of them did?
Yeah. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What made you steer off? You know what I mean? When you were 13 and start doing stuff like illegal shit.
My parents were really strict on me. They were like really, real old Hispanic people. So they put a lot of blame on me. They blamed me. They would call me out of my name, and they were really, really strict. So they got even stricter. So I was, my dad would walk me to school. My dad would pick me up from school. Like I wasn't allowed to go nowhere. So I started getting really angry. I started rebelling. I was angry. I started smoking marijuana. I ended up running away at the age of 14. I couldn't handle it. They were too strict. They were letting my brothers do everything. I couldn't do anything. So I started rebelling. I was in middle school. And when I went to juvie, that was like the best place for me. I found my people, Hey. I found people I can relate with.
I feel you. So, all right. So you go into juvie, you get comfortable right away. How long was it before you actually caught like a charge, like a serious charge to where, you were looking at going to prison? And how did all that go down?
I was 17 years old. I had my son at that. I already had my son. I was a single mom, teenage mom too. I ended up breaking into my brother's boss's house and we got charged with aggravated robbery. And I was charged as an adult. So that was my first time in jail. in like adult jail. So that was an eye awakener because I was being threatened to go to prison.
So when you got arrested and you went into county jail, what county did you end up going into?
I went into Grant County Jail. It's a little bitty town called Ulysses, Kansas. That's where I was raised.
Well, for the people watching, like especially like females or even males that want to know, what is it? What did you go through being a female and being booked into jail and eventually like staying there for time? Like, how did all that go down? Were you already in the system because of the juvie shit?
No, I was already in the system as a juvie. No, I wasn't scared. I've been a leader my entire life. So anywhere you put me, I'm okay. You know, when I went into jail for the first time, I did like 3 years straight in jail. I did it in Garden City, Kansas. It's an hour away from my hometown. There, I did a lot of DUIs, a lot of driving while suspended, mainly was DUIs. I have like 5 DUIs in Kansas. I was a drug addict and an alcoholic.
So 3 years in county jail, that's like shit, that's like
Hard
5 years. And yeah, that's hard time right there. So in my county, I mean the girls in that county jail were off the chain. Like they're, you know what I mean? Like, you know how it goes down. So like what was some shit that went on in your county as far as like with the
Oh
chick?
man, what didn't go on? What didn't go on? I mean, when I first went in there, I was angry, bitter. I was a bully, so I got in a lot of fights. You know, I mean, we got mazed, tased, hogtied. Sometimes if we didn't want to dress out, like if we didn't like. There was a time that I went into jail and I was all zannied out. I didn't want to dress out. You know, them guards will strip you. They will rip your clothes. It don't matter whether there's guys, the holding cell. If you're out in the booking room, all the guys are gonna see you. And all the guys see me, they will rip your clothes off, tear you until they get you butt naked. You know, so the guards will do that, or they'll sit you in the chair. I mean, I was there naked in the chair, you know.
You're talking about they strap you into it by the ankles and the arms. That
Yes,
shit's no
yes.
joke. If you get in that chair, you done some shit.
They'll sit you in a room. They sit me in a room for like 4 hours. I mean, I was just rebellious, so I pissed myself thinking they were gonna get me out. No, they're not gonna take you out of there. But
It's just
yeah, I was already like known as a troublemaker, so they automatically would put me in the max facility part. There was 3 dorms: the minimum, the medium, and the max. The max, it was like 6 cells with bars, no TV, no clock. It's just you just locked down the whole time. But a lot of shit goes down back there since there's no cameras, and the guards go there once an hour.
So when you were in that jail for the 3 years, like what was the craziest shit you saw?
Oh man, what was the craziest shit I saw or did? You know, we pulled in some
shit.
guards, like the guards, the lieutenant, the sergeant, like they were just real corrupt. You know, as long as they seen titties, they were giving you extra stuff. Yeah, you'd be surprised.
So they're
I mean,
pulling in trays into the dorm to eat chow. And you're just like, people are just walking by, lifting their shirts up, and he's like, "Oh, 2 trays right there."
Yeah, yeah. There was always in the max facility, there was always 1 guard in. It wasn't 2 guards because we were locked down, but there was no camera back there. You know, in the middle of the night, they would do the rounds. Everything went down in the middle of the night. I mean, we were sucking dick. As a girl, we're doing stuff to get stuff, you know?
Yeah.
If it means you're gonna suck some guards' dick, we're gonna do it because you're getting extra commissary, you're getting extra trays, and in jail, we're hungry. You know, we barely eat. Breakfast is like a little bitty bowl of cereal. So if you're doing something, you're gonna get like 2 bowls of cereal, 2 extra, you know, you're gonna get extra.
So you're in your cell at night. The guard comes in every like 30 minutes to do his rounds, and that he's ducking off in the cell with one of the chicks and getting busy.
He don't even gotta go in the cell. Yeah, he don't have to go in the cell. There was bars. There's bars. You know, you could just pull your pants down, bend over, and just go to the bar. Yeah. And there was either 4 or 5
in that county.
Yeah, it was it took me about 9 months. They don't go in right away. They don't fall for you right away. They're scared because, you know, sexual harassment. Just a lot of threats. The girls are evil. You know, in the prison, you do a sexual or you get caught fucking a guard, the guards are going to prison. And you're gonna get a lot of money because you're state property. So you're getting at least, I don't know, man. I know this girl that was like getting like $16 million. She had slept with one of the guards and turned him in, and they got him for like I guess it was rape or whatever they want to call it. So the guards they were pretty scared. So it took me about 9 months in to reel a couple of guards. I even reeled in a lieutenant, which was pretty
You weren't
crazy.
even fucking off.
Yes. And after a while, once you get them in, they're not gonna leave till you do something for them, or they're gonna lock you down.
So it's this constant blackmail type shit.
Yeah. Yeah, it's constant blackmail. I didn't have to have them blackmail me because I already knew what was up. I knew I was gonna be there for a little bit. So
Yeah.
like I was one of the guards' favorites because they
So
knew
you
that I
were
wasn't gonna snitch.
you were kind of like just doing it to make your time comfortable.
Yeah, you have
Yeah.
to. It's cold. Like extra blankets. It's freezing in county.
When you were in that county jail that time, when all that shit was going on, what was the most violent thing that you saw, either between inmates or, guards on inmates?
Oh wow, the guards on inmates. Yeah, I seen the guards beat this guy. Well, I mean, they beat him, and if the guys die, they say they killed themselves. My cousin just recently that happened to my cousin. There's an open investigation there. The guards will beat them. They'll beat them pretty bad, and if something happens to them, I'm not sure what they do with the cameras or what happens, but they end up saying that they committed suicide.
Yeah, I know what they do with the cameras. They turn it on when they want, and they turn it off when they're doing like beating the shit out of the inmate. And then they turn the camera on, the inmate's on the ground, and they're like, "Oh, stop bucking, bomb, bomb," and kicking him in his head.
Recently, my cousin, there's an open case right now with him. They said he committed suicide in the holding cell, and I did too much time in that holding cell. They said he hung himself from the bottom bunk. There's nothing to hang yourself from. And at the mortician said, well, when we seen him, he had a sewed up eye. The mortician said he had to reconstruct his eye back together. The guard said that he supposedly hit himself in the corner of the table to try to go to the hospital and escape.
Yeah, okay, that sounds good.
Yeah.
So after you did the 3 years in the county jail, how long was it before you ended up in state prison?
I was going straight to prison there. I just had to serve some county time. I ended up so how all that came down, I was on dope, I was on drugs, selling drugs. I was with my husband, which was my oldest daughter's molester. He ended up molesting my oldest daughter, which was my youngest daughter's father. And we were so high off on dope. When my daughter told me, I didn't believe her. I believed him. I was stuck on him. And when it did come to light, because my mom ended up calling the cops, they ended up doing an investigation. By law, they have to they have to when it comes to a juvenile. And it took about half a year for all that to come to light. And when it did come to light, him and my two closest friends ended up snitching on me, which that's how I ended up in county going to prison. But since I had all these DUIs, I had to serve my county time first. But I was already sentenced to prison.
So how long did you end up doing in prison?
I ended up doing 7 years total. There's 3 years county and 4 years prison. So it was 7 years actually here in the state of Kansas. When I ended up going to prison, I was pretty scared. I'm not gonna lie. I heard about it. I was pretty scared my first time. But I rode on the prison bus with all the guys, which that was like the best ride ever. For a girl, everybody brags about the prison bus.
Well, I can't imagine what's going on the bus if the guards got glory holes in the fucking bars.
It was the best ride.
Hey, okay. All right, you get to prison, you're scared, you just had the best bus ride of your life. What was it like when your first week in prison? Was it all it cracked up to be, or?
No, it was, we went through, it's called RDU. I don't even know the damn name for it, but that's what they call it. It's a program where they evaluate you. And it's a very, very strict program. You have to walk a straight line, or you're gonna stay in max. When I first went in there, my first week, I got turned out, you know, by a big old black girl.
Hold on, what?
So yeah, yeah.
Got
We were
turned
in
out your
RDU.
first week?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so let's talk about that real quick.
Mhm.
Like,
Okay.
explain what for the people watching that don't know what that means. Can you go ahead and explain to them what being turned out is for you?
Turned out well. I went in straight. I never been with a girl. I mean, like, I actually wanted to be with a girl. Um, Turn out is when a girl pretty much you get with the girl, they eat you out, you enjoy it. You enjoy it and you want more of it and you're okay with it. Like if a girl wants you in prison, RDU, wherever, it was a stud. She looked like a dude. If they want you and you're like, I was a little flirtatious, a little shy about it. If they want you, whether it's good or bad, they're gonna walk in the shower when you're showering. They're gonna go in the shower. You're not gonna scream because there's guards out there. If they catch the both of you guys, you both are gonna get rolled. You both are gonna go to the hole for a loot act because they can't prove whether it was consensual or whether it wasn't. So you got two choices. You're either gonna scream, let the guards know, and you're both gonna get rolled, or you're just gonna go with it. Just go with it, let it happen, and they walk out, and that's it. Nobody's going to the hole. So when I was in the shower, I kind of had an idea that she wanted to get with me already, because we
She
had
was
already been
eyeing you
like,
down in the dorm, huh?
yes, yeah, yeah. And she ended up walking in the shower with me in RDU when I was in the shower. So of course I couldn't scream, and I just went with it. I went with it, and you enjoy it. You already turned out. You got turned out because it's gonna happen again.
So after that had happened, then like what problems did you run into with getting into relationships with females in prison?
Some of them already had girlfriends. A lot of them had ex-girlfriends because it's a prison. It's a small little community. So you can only, there's only a certain group of girls that date, it's just everybody, just dating everybody. So either I dealt with an ex-girlfriend or a girlfriend. I dealt with a lot of ex-girlfriends because she had already been in there for a while. Like she'd served like 5 years on and off. So when I went in there, I dealt with a lot of the ex-girlfriends, which was uh, fighting. I got into a lot of fights. Um, they would they set you up. They put whatever razor blade under your pillow, whatever that they could put in your bed and report you. Then you're gonna get rolled. You're gonna get charged with that. So I dealt with a lot of that. I was in the hole quite a bit. You're
Yeah.
gonna get AIDS. You're gonna get hepatitis C. These bitches are evil. I didn't get no tattoos in prison at all, because that's when they're evil. They're gonna give you AIDS. They're gonna give you hepatitis C. They're gonna do some evil shit if they don't like you.
So you're saying they're going to find somebody with AIDS and then they're going to try to get the AIDS like on a needle and mix it in with like the ink when they're giving you the tattoo?
Yeah. Or there was this lady there
That's
that
how a bitch gets
she
murdered right there.
yeah, there was a lady there, Debbie Meyer. I'll never forget her. They call her the Black Widow because she killed 3 of her husbands, and she was real evil. She ended up getting this chick with AIDS to get her blood. She got her blood, put it in somebody's drink, and the chick with the AIDS ended up, feeling bad about it and told somebody before the other chick drank it. But I mean, I don't know if that's how you can contract it, but that's what she had done to give this other chick AIDS. Whether she knew if they can give it that way, I don't know.
Man, that shit's crazy, man. Y'all it goes down.
Yeah.
And what prison is this in Kansas, right?
Topeka Correctional Facility is the only female prison in Kansas.
So when you were in there and you're on your last, I guess, 3-year stretch in prison, like when you were in there, when did it sink in like in your head where you're just like, man, I can't do this anymore? Because obviously you're out, you're doing good now. Like how did that thought process start for you?
I started building my relationship back with my family, my kids, my parents, and I promised my kids I'd come home with my good time. They would check my good time, and I started getting bullied because I didn't want to fight. I didn't want no problems. I wanted to come home. Um, I started getting bullied. I started putting up with it, and I just remember
You're talking about in prison, other female inmates are bullying you?
Yeah.
Okay.
They know you're trying to do good. They're not coming home. They know you're trying to do good. They see a change in you because I changed. I didn't want to fight no more. You know, I was nicer. They start bullying you, pushing you. They start pushing you. See, you know, test nuts. That's what we call it. They test nuts. They just start fucking with you, taking your ironing on top of your clothes. Ooh, that shit would piss me off. I come, you know, let's say I go to the bathroom, I come back and I see a chick ironing on top of my clothes, her clothes on top of mine. You know, they just, you know, do little stuff like that. Um, Shove you. Ooh, that one really. One chick shoved me. There was the fire alarm, and she ended up shoving me. Man, it took a lot. It took a lot for me to put up with that, but I can say that I was bullied. I was bullied at one time. I was a bully, but at the end, I was being bullied. It was hard.
What made you not want to fight back though?
I wanted to come home to my kids. I had heard a testimony from a lady that was a preacher there. She came in as a preacher. She was an inmate there, and you know, I heard her testimony. She had been shooting dope since she was 11. I've been shooting dope since I was 16. I didn't think I could change. I was a lost cause. I was a bad mom, a junkie, a dope hoe, you name it. I was it. So, but when I heard her testimony, and she had been there, and she was a preacher, and I wanted that. I wanted that. And, you know, I remember, I'll never forget the day I cried out to God. I talked to him, I explained to him, you know, I didn't know no different, but I can't remember how my mind came, but it came in silence. I was changing. I didn't realize I was changing because when I was getting pushed, I wasn't doing anything. But I remember I would cry in my room. It was getting to me, but I wasn't doing anything. I didn't want to do anything anymore. I didn't want to fight. So I can't really say how it happened. I was just ready. I just didn't want it anymore. It wasn't for me. I wasn't gay. I was tired of eating pussy. I was tired of hooking up with girls. I was tired of fighting. It wasn't for me, you know?
So how long was it after that that you got out of prison?
2 years after that.
So what is it like for a woman getting out of prison after doing a total of 7 years? Like what struggles did you go through when you got out?
Well, as a woman, it's hard to get a job. Really hard. Guys, it's easy for guys because you can go construction, you can go to the oil rigs. They don't care about your record. A girl, I can't get a secretary job. I can't get a job at a bank. I can't go to a school and get a job. You know, I can't go to the courthouse and be a translator, a bilingual translator because of my record, you know, because of my felonies. Guys, they're not really checking into, well, you know, you distributed meth, so I don't think we could hire you for this labor job, you know?
Yeah,
Oh, well,
you know,
you got all these DUIs. I don't think we could hire you for a forklift driver. That's not true. For a girl, I mean, I got a distribution, I got possession, I got aggravated burglary. They don't want to hire nobody at a bank like that or, you know, as a secretary or anywhere.
how long did it take for you to get a job when you got out?
It didn't take me long. I got it 2 weeks, but it was through an agency, through a staffing agency. And I went to a lathe factory. I've done factory jobs ever since.
Okay.
So it was a $10 job. So
Well, hey, it's work, you know what I mean? Like I know what you're
yeah.
saying though. I've been in that position to where you gotta like suck it up, buttercup type shit, you know what I mean? And just do what you gotta do to get through. So out of your whole life up until this day, like what have you learned through your struggles that you could like maybe tell somebody young that's still struggling with the shit that you went through? What would you say to them?
Don't let your past be your crutch. Don't, you know? Everybody's capable enough to change. Let that be your strength. That's my strength. My past, I don't want to go back to that. I learned from it. It's my strength. It's what makes me want to strive to do better. The crutch that I held for so long and blaming my, you know, me being molested, me being raped, it was just an excuse to keep doing what I was doing, staying on drugs, staying high, downing myself. Today, I'm proud of that because I'm strong. You know, I'm doing more. I have a lot more experience. I know so much compared to a person that's never been in prison, a person that's never done drugs, you know. I'm streetwise. I'm book smart. Just I don't let that be a crutch. Let that be your strength.
Yeah, a lot of people get stuck in that and they can never get out of that thought. You know what I mean? Of just thinking they're like pieces of shit and, aren't good people when really, you can turn your life around. You're living proof of it. So, but I want to thank you for coming on the channel. And, I know it takes a lot of courage to get on and, put your shit out there, because then you got all the people they're going to judge and say dumb shit.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah. So if you guys are tuning in for the first time, man, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you've enjoyed this episode, go ahead and hit that thumbs up on the way out. And with that is DOC TV, and we're out.